This season, give Craftsman tools and give the gifts that keep on giving. Craftsman, guys' favorites guaranteed. Find it at Sears.
Almost set for the tip this afternoon. George Mason and Richmond. Game one of our doubleheader in the Governor's Holiday Hoops Classic. To the starting lineups we go. The Patriots. We'll take a look at Williams and Copes down low. The threat of this team and the strength is their interior. Copes leading rebounder and shot blocker. For the Richmond Spiders, we talked about Williams. Keep an eye on number 3, Darien Brothers. He's shooting over 50% from three-point range. And the Spiders are coached by Chris Mooney, now in his 8th season. Back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances a couple of years ago in 2010 and 2011. They are off to a 9-3 start this year. And George Mason, their head coach Paul Hewitt, now in his 2nd season. Last year went 24-9, first year on the campus of George Mason, and this year now it's 6-4 in their final game before the Christmas break. Our officials, Roger Ayers, Brian Kersey, and Leslie Jones. And we are ready for the tip here today from the Richmond Coliseum in Richmond, Virginia. Spiders will start on offense first, Ron. And what do they like to do offensively?
Well, they like to work the ball around a lot. They won't always shoot early in the shot clock, but you have to guard the perimeter because they have deadly shooters out there.
Williams works it to the top to Brothers, and he is one of those deadly outside shooters for the Spiders. There's another Cedric Lindsay, and he does. He starts it off with a 3.
Almost right on call. But what was good about that action, they went inside, drew the defense in, threw it back out for the wide open 3.
Lindsay shooting at 35% from three-point range this season. Comes off a 12-point effort in the last game for the Spiders. They lost at Kansas, 87-59. George Mason off a tough loss a few days ago as well. They lost to Northern Iowa at home in overtime by 5. Shot clock down to 5. Blocked inside. Good play by Greg Robbins on the try that time. Another 3, and it's good again. And that's Brothers, so there we go. Back-to-back, Lindsay and Brothers for Richmond.
Mike, if you've seen Richmond over the years, the look of this ball club is going to be just a little bit different. Over time, they used to take their time. They used to work the shot clock, go deep into the shot clock. Now they're running a lot more and shooting an awful lot quicker because of their depth and their speed in the backcourt.
Spiders are second in the Atlantic 10 in three-point shooting at over 38%, and that's what we're seeing so far here to start as Corey Edwards comes back. It says, all right, our turn. Edwards now 4 for 5 from three-point range this season for George Mason. Brothers off the mark on the pull-up. Ball picked up by Copes, and there'll be a foul underneath. A little bit sloppy here for the Patriots trying to drive.
From a coaching standpoint, this is perfect. The ball goes inside, you draw the defense in, have your guard stand around the arc, be set, and knock it down. And then here in transition, they come down. George Mason doesn't pick up. Then what does Brothers do? He nails a deep J and pull up.
The foul's on Derek Williams, his first for Richmond, and Johnny Williams is at the line for George Mason.
Mason this year, they're going to be as solid as their backcourt allows them. They have a lot of depth on the inside. They have experience on the inside, but their guard play is what's going to be crucial for them as this year progresses.
Richmond quickly up the court. Here's Taylor. Taylor rejected by Copes, but a foul. He got him in the body.
The best way to attack the press is attack the press. And Richmond does a good job at getting out in transition, going at the basket. When George Mason picked up in their full-court defense, Richmond's mentality was not pass, pass, pass. It was attack, which is perfect.
Here's Deion Taylor from St. Augustine High School down in New Orleans. He's had pretty good minutes as a freshman for the Spiders. Terry Allen, the other freshman, who gets a ton of time for them this season. A lot of young players on the court here today, Ron. Just 2 seniors that see action for Richmond. Really none for George Mason. They have a very young team this year.
They're young, they're deep, and that's why both of these ball clubs are at the top of their conferences, because of their depth and their experience. But, you know, whenever you have a chance to have your core group of guys coming back again as a coach, you've got to love it.
Mason's full court press causing a little trouble, and they come up with a steal. That's Sherrod Wright. Wright's been outstanding. Gets it to go.
That's when Wright's at his best, when he's in attack mode. He's very hard to stay in front of because he can create and use either hand.
Lindsay kicks it to Taylor. Now Williams left alone for 3. Williams will step back and shoot that shot. Richmond is now 3 for 3 so far from 3-point range.
And that's part of their game plan. They'll take a lot of threes if it's there. You shouldn't be surprised at Williams taking that jump shot, because he'll take a few of them each game, especially if his man doesn't come out and guard.
They're trying to go into the post of Johnny Williams. And he's got it. Mason crashing the offensive glass, and a foul is going to be called. It's going to be on Greg Robbins.
This is Wright on the left wing, and this is part of his value right here. The play breaks down, but this is just a great one-on-one move where he takes Robbins off the bounce.
The foul's on the floor. It's Anai Okaloji, a sophomore for George Mason, and got hit. Right. It's the little fadeaway to drop. It's a 2-point ball game. And a steal. Heads up. Sherrod Wright with 2 quick ones ties the game at 11.
When your offensive guy gives you heads-up defensive play, that's nothing but a bonus. And Wright's a guy that's plugged in and clearly understands what call he wants.
Spiders first miss from 3-point range. Looking again into Williams, and this time Richmond is there from the backside. Williams on a steal. Brothers, count it. 2 for 2 for Darien Brothers, the senior captain from Richmond, knocking down the tray. Foul underneath. Timeout.
We all know about his...
Ron?
George Mason's doing an excellent job, Mike, in their full court press. They're turning Richmond over, and consequently, they haven't had to run much half-court offense because they've been getting steals, getting some easy buckets.
How about that play by Sherrod Wright on the steal and the slam? He's got 6 points for the Patriots.
That particular play, he read the play just like a free safety would in football. He shot the gap, got the steal. He's 3 for 3 right now with 6 points, 6 of their 11.
And there he is, now launching up a 3, and he ties it at 14.
And if you're Richmond, you're really upset because you know they went over the scouting report. We have to do a good job on Wright. But that's what good players do. They show up regardless of what the scouting report is.
Wright averages 16.4 a game. He already has 9 so far this afternoon throughout the first 5 minutes. Kendall Anthony is now in for Richmond. Finds Brothers, and that's what he does. Does it again. Another 3-pointer for Darien Brothers.
George Mason has to do a much better job at closing out towards Richmond shooters. They have to force those guys to be drivers as opposed to set shooters.
Offensive foul on a hook down low.
Again, Richmond's bread and butter is made on their perimeter shooting. A nice little dribble, penetrate, and pitch, and Brothers had his feet set, his eyes lined up, and he nailed it. But Richmond has to do a much better job at handling the full court pressure by George Mason, and they're mixing it up. Now they're in a man-to-man full court press. They switch from a 1-2-2 to a man-to-man.
Here comes 5'8" sophomore Kendall Anthony, dishes it, and we've got a blocking foul as Alonzo Nelson Odota went to the hole. He'll have free throws coming up. Bertrell Vaughns caught for the foul, his first. Third on George Mason in this first half. Nelson Odota, the redshirt freshman from Atlanta, Georgia, looking for big play out of this guy this season, the Spiders.
Because he's one of their most mature post guys that they have. You know, he's been around for 1 year, even though he sat out that year. And the other guys that are coming in, aside from Williams, they're all freshmen. So these young post guys are getting a lot of playing time early. Now it's up to them to produce.
1 for 2 at the line. Richmond by 4. White. And it knocked out. Another offensive foul on the Patriots. It's on Jonathan Arledge. How about this full court press here by George Mason? Has caused a couple of turnovers early on.
Well, what's happened is they've smelled blood. They've had some success. So what they're doing now is they're just mixing it up. They're trying to keep Richmond a little on edge to figure out, are we trapping this possession or are we going head up man to man? Because they don't want to just have to play against Richmond's half-court offense every single possession.
Odota rejected by Johnny Williams. Heck of a play to keep it in bounds. And a foul, as that was Brian Allen on the drive before the putback.
Great reaction time that time by George Mason. They got the steal. They didn't pause and wait. They got out on their transition game with great efficiency. Take a look at this here. There's some penetration. The shot goes up, it gets blocked, and then 2 seconds later, George Mason, they're off to the races. And that's the way you attack on missed baskets, on turnovers, on steals. If you can get your first 2 steps out of the gate really strong, most times the transition defense doesn't have a chance to get back and get set.
Cedric Lindsey back in.
And what happens a lot of times, the first 7, 8, sometimes 10 minutes of a game, it's like when a boxer throws a lot of jabs. You're trying to see what works, what doesn't work. And then the latter part of the first half and into the second half, coaches will settle into a certain amount of plays, offensively as well as defensively.
Williams back in as well for Richmond. He just got that rebound. But we know one thing's for sure, Ron, early on, it's going to be a fast-paced ball game. It seems like.
No question. Mason wants more fast-paced game. Richmond's playing an awful lot faster this year than they have in years past because of their athleticism and their ball handling ability by their guards.
10 on the shot clock. Spiders are averaging 72.3 points a ball game. Third in the A-10. Williams, another three-point try, and he's hit 2 so far this afternoon.
And we touched on that a little earlier. George Mason's bigs are going to have to extend their defense. They can't look at Williams physically and assume that he's not going to take those shots because that is part of Richmond's arsenal. Their bigs step out and knock down those J's when you don't play them.
And that shot right there by Marko Gujaničić stops a 10-3 Richmond run. It's a 5-point ball game. There's Lindsey. There's Brian Allen. Wayne Sparrow. Shot clock to 5. Patriots force another turnover. Knocking down the mid-range jumper is who else but Sherrod Wright.
There was excellent communication that time, though, Mike, by George Mason in transition. The guys were talking, letting the next receiver of the ball know, look, I'm coming to you. And they gave it to Wright in the corner wide open. Excellent communication that time by George Mason.
He's got 11 points, Ron. Mason trying to defend the three-point arc. Yeah, you got to stay on these outside shooters. Richmond 6 of 7 from three-point range. Williams 6 of 8. Fonz ties it with a 3. Trail Fonz, a junior from Texas, who struggled a little bit with his offense. His defense has been great since Coach Hewitt, but right there, it's a big 3. Allen is bumped and fouled by Arledge for George Mason, who picks up a second.
Excellent communication here by George Mason in transition. They recognize their shooters in the corner. They find him.
Today.
We'll take a look at the job that Wright does defensively. Right now, Wright's right here. His eyes, his vision is right here in the trap. He sees his guys right here. But he knows that this is where he has to go. But instead, he's reading the trap, makes the steal, shoots to the passing lane, and gets the easy dunk. That's being smart. That's being an experienced junior that understands the press, not just what to do. He understands why he's doing those things.
Wright taking a breather on the sideline right now for George Mason. He has 11 points. The Patriots have 3 steals in this ball game so far. It's been Richmond's outside shooting. They've hit 6 3-pointers already, Ron, this first half.
And right now, they want to try to go inside, either off the dribble or inside to Williams, because you don't want your whole game to be predicated on just shooting threes.
Williams has actually hit a couple of shots on the outside. We got a foul underneath. New Year's Day, the NBC Sports Network invites you to relive all the moments that define Notre Dame's football's undefeated season. It all kicks off New Year's Day right here on the NBC Sports Network. Foul was on Bertrell Fonz, his second for George Mason. Wright comes back into the lineup for the Patriots. Kendall Anthony, 2012 Atlantic 10 Rookie of the Year. 1 of 2 for a Spiders 1-point advantage.
And now Richmond has a press of their own. They're picking up full-court man-to-man, trying to cut the clock. They can get a steal good. If not, they want to play solid half-court man-to-man defense.
A finger roll by the big guy, Gujanicic, and out of bounds. It'll be Richmond ball.
Again, you just saw a changing of the defenses by Richmond. They picked up full court, came back to their man-to-man. George Mason wasn't sure exactly what Richmond was doing, thus the turnover. Now Richmond has a shot at coming down the other end.
Halfway through the first half, and a good one here from the Richmond Coliseum in Richmond, Virginia. Game 1 of our doubleheader today. And a 5-second violation.
Mike, Wright has come to play tonight, not just offensively. He hounded his man for an entire possession that time. Watch this. He's all over to his right. He's right there in his back pocket. He goes left. He's right there in his back pocket. Come on, ref. Where's the count? Where's the count? And then finally, the 5-second count. Excellent work. When your best player is working that hard, not just offensively, but on defense as well, it's got to lift the emotion of your whole ball game.
No doubt about it. Missed shot that time by Williams underneath. Offensive rebound for the Patriots. Brian Allen clears it out.